I transmigrated into an ABO world, together with the one person I despised most, the real young master himself. He was a top-tier alpha. And me? I became the desperate omega trying to climb into his bed for status. When I snapped back to my senses, I realized I was draped in sheer lace, halfway through seducing him. Mortified, I blurted out, "Don't you dare look down on the poor. One day you'll be on your knees begging me for mercy." Later, when his rut hit, I thought it'd be funny to go mock him. But instead, he pinned me down, the heat of his body pressing between my thighs. His eyes were dark and burning, his voice hoarse as he murmured, "Be good, sweetheart. You're finally mine." Damn it, bro, I thought we were enemies. You're seriously into my ass now? Welcome to History Channel. Subscribe to follow all our latest adventures. Story begins. The moment before I transmigrated, I was still messing with that damned real young master, sneaking into his office to pour water all over his prized money tree until it withered. As I stared at the pitiful remains, I let out a villainous laugh. Let's see how Tyler Castle snatches the project from me now that his lucky tree's dead. The next second, the world spun violently. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the office, but standing in a dimly lit hotel room. At the door, a boy's voice whispered excitedly, "Victor, see how good I am to you? I know you want to climb up, so I found you the perfect sponsor." 6'5", 8-pack abs. Rumor says he's packing 20 centimeters, filthy rich, and never even held a little Omega's hand. A pure, untouched virgin. If we weren't such good friends, I'd have gone for him myself. Wait, what the hell is a little O? And why do I feel cold? I looked down and froze. Shit, my tailored suit was gone. I was wearing nothing but a single layer of sheer gauze. Moonlight spilled through the open curtains, soft and pale. My skin glowed under it, the faint translucence of the fabric revealing more than it hid, making me look even more indecent than if I'd been completely naked. "Victor Manson, is that you? What are you doing here?" The bathroom door opened with a low creak. That voice, deep, magnetic, unmistakable. Tyler Castle. My arch-nemesis. Of course. Who else could pull a stunt like this? I glared at him, spitting venom as usual. "Tyler Castle, did you find out I killed your damn money tree, so you knocked me out and dragged me here? Where are my clothes? Hand them over before I report you." But when I looked up, the words died in my throat. Tyler stood there in nothing but a loosely tied bathrobe, droplets sliding down his chest, tracing over every sharply defined muscle. His damp hair clung to his temples, his face half lit by the moonlight, unreal, almost divine. I'd known him for years. I'd seen him furious, smug, condescending, but never like this. He caught me staring, lips curling in that infuriating smirk, tugging his robe lower to expose even more of his sculpted abs. "Victor Manson," he drawled, "do you like what you see?" Like hell I did. He was clearly showing off, mocking me, the pretty boy with no muscles. I snapped, "Put some damn clothes on, you exhibitionist." His gaze darkened, heavy and hot as it slid down my body, lingering far too long. Then he chuckled lowly. "Shouldn't I say the same to you?" I instinctively crossed my arms to cover myself, then immediately caught myself. We were both men. What was there to hide? So I grinned, grabbed the edge of my gauze, and let it fall open with a flourish. "How about it? Think my abs look good? Beg me nicely, and maybe I'll even let you touch." Tyler's jaw tightened. His dark eyes burned, and then he dropped to one knee, breath ragged. "What the, are you trying to fake an injury now?" I jumped back, thinking he was up to one of his old tricks. But something was off. The air was growing hotter, thicker, laced with a faint scent of mint. My favorite. The room swam. My head went light. Drawn by that scent, I staggered toward him, looped my arms around his neck, and took a deep breath near his skin. "Damn, bro, you smell good." My neck burned. A strange warmth flooded through me, followed by the faint, sweet scent of peaches, coming from me. The two scents tangled together, mint and peach, making my pulse race even faster. Tyler's breathing quickened too. His fingers dug into the carpet, veins standing out on his hands as he fought for control. Next thing I knew, he threw me onto the bed. The mattress caught me, soft and dizzying. His voice was hoarse, almost a growl. "Victor Manson, something's wrong with the scent in this room. Snap out of it." Wrong? The only thing wrong was how damn good he smelled. Desire curled low in my gut. All I wanted was to hold him closer, to get his scent all over me. And honestly, who the hell would be stupid enough to set up the two most notorious rivals in the city? Everyone knew the Manson and Castle families hated each other's guts. Every meeting ended in fireworks. My face flushed hot. My body felt like molten syrup. "Let me bite your neck," I murmured. My teeth tingled with an unbearable itch, and a single word flashed across my foggy mind: marking. "Come on, man," I whispered, "let me mark you." Tyler actually laughed, breathless, strained, disbelieving. His arm wrapped tight around my waist, holding me still while keeping his distance. "Victor Manson, I'm not touching you while you're out of your mind. Be good. Put your clothes on. We're going to the hospital." His voice was gentle. Too gentle. I'd never heard him speak like that before. Maybe it was the fever, but it sounded almost affectionate. I decided to take it as consent, and bit down. His muffled groan was immediate. Through gritted teeth, he rasped, "You've turned into an omega, and all you can do is drool on my damn neck." He took me to the hospital. One injection of suppressant later, the heat finally ebbed, and I drifted into sleep. I didn't notice that his hand was still clasping mine. Tyler sat beside the bed, eyes shadowed, gaze fixed on our joined hands. A faint, unreadable smile touched his lips. When I woke the next morning, I felt perfectly fine, until I tried to stretch and realized my wrist wouldn't move. Blinking the sleep away, I saw Tyler slumped at the edge of the bed, fast asleep, his head resting on his folded arms. His warm breath brushed against my skin, tickling, making me flinch. I reflexively nudged him awake. He blinked up at me, bleary-eyed, voice rough from sleep. "Victor Manson, how do you feel? You okay?" Before I could answer, the door swung open, and the doctor stepped in with a relieved smile. "You're awake." "I've been a doctor for over 20 years, the physician said, pushing his glasses up the bridge of his nose, "and I've never seen an omega like you, trying to mark an alpha instead." He paused, then chuckled softly. "But your lover must really love you. The poor man almost went into rut from your pheromones last night, and yet he still managed to resist marking you and rushed you here for treatment." My face flushed scarlet in an instant. For a second, I thought I was still dreaming. Hold up, lover? Tyler Castle? That can't be right. We're lifelong enemies, not some fated couple. And what the hell are omega and alpha supposed to mean? Then last night came crashing back into my mind. The scent, the heat, the chaos. I turned toward Tyler, panic tightening my chest. "But, Tyler Castle, don't tell me, we transmigrated?" The sky had fallen. Tyler Castle and I had landed in the same goddamn ABO world. He got the jackpot, a top-tier alpha, powerful and filthy rich. I, meanwhile, became the broke omega scheming to seduce him. Why is it that when fate rolls the dice, I always get the short end? Tyler caught the despair on my face and, unbelievably, pulled out a black card. His voice was uncharacteristically gentle. "Here, Victor Manson. I'll take care of you. Relax. Until we get back to our world, I'll make sure you're safe." He cleared his throat, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. "Just be my little lover. I'll let you climb as high as you want." My expression darkened. My fist clenched tight enough to creak. Was this guy taunting me? We were sworn rivals. If I accepted his offer, it'd be admitting defeat. I slapped the card out of his hand and snarled, "Tyler Castle, don't you dare look down on me. I'll be rich one day. You just wait until the day you're the one kneeling and begging me for mercy." It felt great to say in the moment. But that night, staring at my near-empty balance on the StarNet banking app, I wanted to cry. If I'd known how broke I'd be, I'd have swallowed my pride and taken that damn card. Instead, here I was, working in a busy restaurant kitchen, wearing a cheap uniform, body aching after another double shift, Victor, didn't Mr. Castle give you any money? Kevin, the same Omega who'd been at the hotel that night, looked genuinely puzzled. Doesn't make sense. I saw him carrying you to the hospital. He looked worried, man. Like really worried. I've never seen him that panicked. Tyler Castle worried about me? You're right. More like worried I'd ruin his reputation. I snorted and waved him off. Oh, he didn't touch me because he couldn't. That's why he took me to the hospital. A cold chill crept up my spine. Kevin's face went pale. Mr. Castle, what brings you to the kitchen? Shit. Tyler Castle stood at the doorway, dark eyes unreadable, voice slow and dangerous. Didn't realize I'd need to come here to find out someone's been spreading rumors that I can't perform. Busted. When the hell did he learn to walk without making a sound? He stepped closer, the faint scent of mint surrounding him, sharp and clean. It hit me instantly, dragging my mind back to that night. The heat of his body against mine. Something hard, burning, pressed against my stomach. I froze. Why the hell was I thinking about that? I stumbled back a few steps, crossing my arms. Oh please, everyone knows you're not capable. Ever since I'd known him, people had thrown themselves at him, men and women alike, and he'd never dated anyone. The rich kids' gossip circles even whispered he was dysfunctional. What, he transmigrated and magically got fixed? Yeah. Tyler's jaw tightened. I could see his tongue pressing against his molars. Then, without a word, he grabbed my wrist and dragged me out of the restaurant. His tone was low, clipped, dangerous. You'll find out soon enough whether I'm capable, Victor Manson. Kevin's wide eyes followed us to the door. He mouthed silently, good luck. And for the first time, I understood what it felt like to be a lamb walking straight into a wolf's den. Turned out, the restaurant I worked at belonged to Tyler Castle. He brought me back to his place, a mansion so luxurious it made my eyes sting with envy. The moment the door shut, he shrugged off his black suit jacket, the white shirt underneath stretching over lean, powerful muscle. Victor Manson, he said coolly, you've been running your mouth again. Didn't you just say I wasn't capable? Let's see about that. My stomach growled loudly. I rubbed my abdomen and gave an awkward laugh. I'm hungry. In this world, most people survived on tasteless nutrient solutions. But I was used to bold flavors, spice, real food. Problem was, I couldn't afford it. I'd gone hungry for days. Tyler exhaled sharply, rolled up his sleeves, and strode into the kitchen. Sit down. I'll cook. There's fruit on the table. Eat something while you wait. I had to admit, Tyler Castle could cook. In less than half an hour, 5 dishes and a soup filled the table. All spicy, fragrant, exactly the way I liked them. I hadn't eaten real food since landing in this world. The moment I took a bite, I almost cried. Tyler sat beside me, quietly adding food to my bowl, pouring me water. Slow down, Victor. Don't burn your mouth. For a fleeting moment, I remembered something. Before he'd been acknowledged as the real heir of the Manson family, there'd been a time when we'd actually gotten along. Back then, I used to crash his place all the time just to mooch dinner. But when the truth came out, that I was the fake son and he was the real one, I panicked. Afraid he'd throw me out, I turned cruel. Every time I saw him, I lashed out. Once, he'd even cooked my favorite spicy beef just to make peace. I'd slapped his hand away, sneering up at him. Drop the act, Tyler Castle. You think I don't see through you? If I weren't the Manson heir, you wouldn't give me the time of day. You're only here for the money. Blood doesn't make you worthy. The heir will be whoever's most capable, and unless you outshine me, the Manson fortune stays mine. His beautiful eyes had shattered right then, full of hurt. You really think I approached you for money? What else? I shot back, choking down the strange ache in my chest as I smacked his hand away again. He fell silent for a long moment. Then he whispered, voice trembling, I understand. He tossed the insulated lunchbox into the bin beside the trash can and walked off without looking back. From that day on, he grew cold toward me. The whole city of Beijing knew we were officially sworn enemies. After dinner, Tyler Castle insisted, firmly, that I stay the night. He handed me a plate of sliced fruit, his expression calm and indifferent. Victor, You're an omega now. You're physically weaker. That apartment you're staying in isn't safe anymore. And if we're living together, we can figure out how to get back to our world faster. I popped a grape into my mouth, still conflicted. Moving into my arch-rival's house? Felt it. Then he said something I couldn't argue with, his tone low and coaxing. You live here and I'll cook for you every day. No more bland nutrient packs. I caved instantly. Deal. Maybe it was the fact I hadn't eaten that well in days, or maybe it was knowing Tyler Castle was just a room away, but I couldn't sleep at all. We hadn't spent this much time together in years. I tossed and turned until daybreak finally pulled me under. Where? Someone quietly pushed open my door. I slipped into a familiar, warm embrace, instinctively burrowing deeper into the man's arms. He cupped my ass, drawing our bodies closer, tighter. If only you were this well-behaved when you're awake, he murmured. The air was thick with the scent of mint. My body began to tingle in strange ways, itchy and a little sore. It felt like a wolf was on top of me, licking every inch of my skin, drenching me in heat and discomfort. I was annoyed. Swatted blindly in my sleep. Stop it. I'm tired. He stilled, then let out a breathy laugh, stroking my back with a soothing rhythm. Even in your sleep, you're not exactly well-behaved. Tyler Castle, when the hell are you going to stop sleepwalking into my bed every night? Over breakfast, I slammed my chopsticks down and glared at him, cheeks puffed with indignation. Ever since I'd moved in, I woke up every single morning with Tyler Castle in my bed. The first time, he claimed he'd wandered into the wrong room. Every time after? Sleepwalking. I gave him a look full of suspicion. Something was fishy. I'd known this guy for years and never, not once, had he ever mentioned being a sleepwalker. Tyler casually took a sip of water. Oh, I only started sleepwalking after we transmigrated. He sounded completely sincere, even handed me a warm glass of milk. Maybe it'll go away soon. Besides, we're both men, what's the big deal about sharing a bed? Unless, did the sleepwalking version of me do something to you? I ground my teeth. How the hell was I supposed to explain that every morning I woke up wrapped in his arms, my face squished against his muscular chest? Close enough to bite his nipple if I wanted to? Sometimes our lips were even pressed together. And don't even get me started on the thing he pressed against me every damn morning. But for the sake of my pride, I kept it to myself. Instead, I clenched my fists and growled, Tyler Castle, hurry up and find a way to send us back. I can't survive another day in this damn ABO world. Because if he kept sleepwalking into my bed like this, one morning I might just wake up beneath him, well and thoroughly claimed. Tyler Castle still had a job in this world. From scratch, he'd built a massive corporation. He was up at dawn and didn't return till late. Meanwhile, I was his so-called canary in a gilded cage. I spent my days eating, drinking, sleeping, shopping if I felt like it, gaming if I didn't. He worked, thrived. Within a few weeks, I'd even gained a little weight. Every afternoon after my nap, I'd message him my dinner wish list. And Tyler always responded instantly. He'd cook it himself when he got home. Except today. No reply. Something felt off. Sure enough, a call came, not from him, but his secretary. Mr. Manson, Mr. Castle has entered his rut. He's a top-tier alpha. During rut, things can get dangerous. Mr. Castle instructed me to look after you. Dinner will be delayed. And please, do not leave your room tonight. Ruts? What the hell is that supposed to mean? I remembered hearing the term at the hospital before. Quickly, I pulled up Starnet to search. An alpha's rut is a critical physiological period. Personality may shift dramatically. Needs the companionship and comfort of an omega partner. Warning, sexual urges during rut can become extremely intense. That last part, personality shift, got my attention. My eyes lit up. If I could catch Tyler Castle losing control tonight, I'd have blackmail material for life. I completely ignored that last sentence. The part about extremely intense sexual urges. Game plan in place, I counted down to nightfall. Because of his rut, the housekeeper and staff had all left early. Only the two of us remained in the massive villa. I crept to his bedroom door. The house was soundproofed well, but I could still hear the ragged, restrained breathing inside. My heart skipped. What if he was seriously in trouble? I pushed the door open in a rush. "Tyler Castle, are you okay?" My voice caught. There he was, face flushed deep red, every inch of his skin coated in sweat and lust. Muscles strained, chest rising and falling in jagged rhythm. Naked. And worst of all, his hand was moving. The thing between his legs was enormous. Like, forearm-thick enormous. I slapped both hands over my eyes. Jesus, warn a guy when you're doing that kind of handwork. Tyler sucked in a breath, yanked the covers over himself. His eyes burned as they locked onto mine, voice gravelly and low. "You want me to warn you before jerking off? Victor Manson, what are you to me now? Should I file a request first?" There was that snide tone again. He'd been like this ever since we fell out. Snarky, passive-aggressive, impossible. But I came here to laugh at him, and damn it, I wasn't backing down. I strolled in head held high. "You know, everyone in the socialite circles says you're above mortal temptations. The unreachable ice prince, and all that." I flicked a glance at the suspiciously tinted blanket. My cheeks burned. But I forced a smirk. Clearly they were wrong. A filthy dog who can't control his lower half. No sooner had the insult left my mouth than the blanket jumped. I stared at Tyler Castle in stunned disbelief. His jaw was tight with restraint, but his crimson eyes were shining with unmistakable pleasure. "You've got to be kidding me. He's getting off on being insulted? You're a freaking pervert." I stumbled back, flustered, but I wasn't done. "So what if that thing is huge? For all I know, it's just a useless silver spear, thick but soft. A total sheeptail man." I turned to bolt from the room. But before I could take a step, he grabbed my wrist. In a blink, his arm wrapped around my waist, slamming the door shut with one hand. That's when I realized something terrifying. Tyler Castle might have a face that belonged on a magazine cover, but the body underneath? Solid. Towering. Inescapable. His aura was overwhelming, cold, sharp, and dominant. In his grasp, I was nothing more than a lamb about to be slaughtered. "Victor," he murmured, breath hot against my face, "why are you running?" The whole room smelled like him, clean, sharp mint curling through the air. If I weren't running, then I'd really have lost my mind. His bare body pressed closer. I backed away until my spine hit the door. Cornered. "Didn't you just say I was useless?" he said darkly. "Why don't you test it for yourself?" He thrust lightly against me. "Tyler Castle, look at me properly. I'm your sworn enemy." He grinned. "Sworn enemy equals nemesis. Nemesis equals soulmate. Soulmate equals wife. You were born to be mine. So what if I hug you? So what if I kiss you? So what if I F***ck you?" That's when it hit me. Something was seriously wrong. I froze, staring up into his eyes, now filled not just with heat, but affection. Reflected in his pupils was my flushed, dazed face. This bastard, thick eyebrows and all, was harboring impure thoughts about me. And worse, his rut had clearly pushed him past the brink of reason. I was lifted like nothing and tossed gently onto the bed. I was screwed. Literally. I tried to wriggle away, but he pinned me down with ease. His burning body pressed against mine, skin to skin. His eyes darkened as they dropped to my lips. His voice was hoarse. "Be good. You're finally mine now." And so the cocky little lamb got thoroughly devoured by the big bad wolf. The lamb sobbed helplessly, gasping. "Stop pouring sauce on me. You're marking your territory like some damn mutt. If you're gonna roast me, just get it over with. Stop, seriously. If you overcook lamb, it gets dry." The wolf chuckled, pleased. "I like my lamb every way it comes. And this is how ruts are, sweetheart. Just a few more rounds, and once I've devoured every inch of you, you can rest." A normal alpha's rut lasts about a week. But Tyler Castle? Top-tier alpha. His lasted a full 2 weeks. I didn't leave the bed once. He took care of everything, meals, water, even carrying me to the bathroom. When I finally recovered, nearly a month had passed. By then his minty pheromones had fully saturated my body. As Kevin put it, the moment I stepped outside, everyone would know I was a marked omega. "Victor," Tyler said one morning, "I left some honey lemon water on the table. Don't forget to drink it. I've got a big meeting today, so I might be back late." I buried my face in the covers and pretended not to hear him. Of course, he knew I was awake. He leaned down, kissed my forehead gently, and left for work. I still didn't know how to deal with Tyler Castle's tenderness. So I avoided it. Call it cowardice, but hey, it works. I lay there for half the day, heart in chaos. After a trip to the bathroom, I caught my reflection in the mirror. I was glowing. Literally glowing. Panic surged in my chest. I hadn't thought about returning to my world in days. Worse, I'd actually started thinking it wouldn't be so bad to stay. To just live like this with Tyler Castle. Oh no. I was falling for him. That couldn't happen. He was my nemesis. Desperate for clarity, I trimmed down the story and posted on Starnet. So I accidentally slept with my arch-rival. Now he treats me like his wife. He cooks every meal, brushes my teeth, even preps my toothbrush for me. I used to hate him. But now, every time I see him, my heart flutters. ABO netizens exploded. "Wait, how does he wash you?" Asking for research. Y'all uptown folks sure get creative. Nemesis is a new term for husband, huh? Hold on, what kind of accident ends with enemies hooking up? I replied under that last one. He was in rut. I went to tease him. He pinned me down and well, bruh. You went to an alpha in rut to tease him? You do know what ruts are for, right? This was planned. Pack it up, folks. This ain't enemies to lovers. This is textbook Omega seduction. Best wishes, newlyweds. My brain exploded. I didn't seduce Tyler Castle. I shut Starnet in a panic, lips pressed tight. I genuinely hadn't known the risks of a rut. Right? Whatever. We're both men. I'll just chalk it up to being bitten by a dog. That night, Kevin invited me out for drinks. I said yes without thinking, anything to avoid dealing with Tyler. But barely 20 minutes into the night, my phone buzzed. His voice came through soft, tinged with urgency. "Victor, I made dinner. Everything you love. Why aren't you home?" He used my full name, Victor. Why did that sound kind of sweet? I chugged a full glass of alcohol, trying to settle my nerves. "I'm out with friends. Not coming home for dinner." Silence. Then, finally, his voice again. Tight. "Okay." The call ended with a cold click, but somehow, it only made the knot in my chest tighter. It was better this way, I told myself. With who I was and who Tyler Castle was, we never had a future anyway. The sooner we cut it off, the cleaner it'd be. Back in our original world, I could hold my liquor like a champ. I assumed it'd be the same here. But just 2 drinks in, my head was spinning. Kevin was busy chatting up his new boyfriend, the two of them laughing it up like nobody else existed. I hesitated but didn't want to bother them. I figured I'd just take a break at the bar and clear my head. I hadn't even been sitting long when a drunk alpha staggered over, reeking of alcohol. "Hey, gorgeous. You've been drinking all alone for a while now. Got into a fight with your alpha? How about giving me a try instead? I'm really good." My temper, already on edge, snapped. I stood, picked up my glass, and smashed it straight onto his head. "Try me? You don't even deserve to breathe the same air as me." He was drenched in booze and furious. Tried to throw a punch. But I'd been trained in self-defense since nearly being kidnapped as a kid. One clean throw and he was flat on the ground. Next time you go picking fights, make sure you can win. I turned to leave, but forgot something crucial. This was the ABO world. And that bastard had just released his pheromones. Garlic. His scent was garlic. Omega bodies are naturally weaker than alphas. The moment I caught the stench, my legs went limp. I couldn't even walk. All I could do was watch helplessly as the guy snarled and raised his hand again. "You little shit, think you can embarrass me?" Before he could land the hit, someone grabbed his wrist and twisted. He dropped, writhing on the floor in agony. "Victor, are you okay?" Tyler Castle. He'd come. I threw myself into his arms, burying my face in his chest, breathing in that clean, familiar mint. Only then did I feel alive again. God, that garlic stench was nauseating. I shook my head. I'm fine. But I wasn't. Not really. Why were there suddenly 3 Tyler Castles in front of me? He frowned at my flushed cheeks. You've been drinking? I grinned, tipsy and carefree. Yup. He sighed, a smile tugging at his lips, and scooped me up in a Princess Carrie. I was a handful on the way home, squirming and fighting his grip, until he gave my butt a light smack. I turned red instantly and went quiet. Tyler Castle, I mumbled, I've always hated you, you know that? His expression dimmed, but he still nodded. Why? Maybe it was the alcohol, or maybe I was just tired of holding it in. Either way, I let it spill. I hate everything about you. Your face, your voice, the way you're always good to me. I hate that you're mom's kid. My voice cracked. My eyes burned. We had to be enemies. The Manson family heir has to be the strongest. But I never saw you as my enemy, Tyler interrupted, calm and steady. I've always seen you as my wife. What? I blinked at him, certain the alcohol had fried my brain. He looked like he was done holding back. Victor Manson. I like you. And don't tell me you haven't felt it too. I said nothing. But he wasn't wrong. That night, every time he moved, he'd whisper in my ear. Baby, is this okay? Do you like it? If I didn't answer the way he wanted, he wouldn't stop. I had to tremble and stammer, I do. I like it. Then he'd press further. Baby, don't I treat you well? Haven't I been the best in bed for you? This was my first time. I gave you everything. So, do you like me too? I refused to answer, biting my lip, clenching my teeth. So he pushed harder, until I finally broke down crying and sobbed, I like you. I like you, okay? The memory hit me hard, like déjà vu. And something inside me whispered, what if we never make it back? What if this is all we get? I pulled Tyler closer, lips brushing his ear, and whispered. I felt it. Tyler Castle, I like you too. And then the world spun. That dizzy, gut-dropping sensation was back. Seconds later, I was standing in Tyler Castle's office, holding a pot of hot water. In front of me sat the same dead, shriveled money tree I drowned weeks ago. You've got to be kidding me. We were back. Like waking from a dream, but my heart still ached. I wandered through work in a daze. Filed papers in a daze. Clocked out in a daze. Only when I got home did I finally have the courage to check my phone, which had been vibrating all afternoon. Tyler Castle. Victor, babe. We're back. I'm still out of town on business. Just booked my return flight. Can't wait to see you. I missed you so much. You remember what you said before we left, right? You like me. You really, really like me. So, when are we getting married? Me? Absolutely not. How the hell did we jump straight to marriage? My fingers shook as I blocked him. The dream was over. It was time to wake up. In the ABO world, I could be honest. I could tell him how I felt. But here, in this world, we had no future. Late that night, someone knocked at my door. I checked the video feed. Tyler Castle stood there, worn from travel, his face dark as storm clouds, his presence overwhelming as ever. Sensing my gaze, he looked up, eyes locking with mine. His voice was low, steady. Open the door, babe. Your husband's home. My eyes flew open. Wait, Tyler Castle just called himself my wife. I swung the door open, determined to clear this up. The moment he stepped inside, he wrapped his arms tightly around me, pressing his chin to my shoulder, burying his face in the scent of my skin like he was trying to recharge from it. I waited all afternoon for your message, he mumbled. You didn't reply even once. Victor Manson, you heartless bastard. You used me up and tossed me aside like I was nothing. I was a pure, untouched man. I pushed him away with a perfectly righteous expression. That was in that world. Here, in this one, you're still a virgin. His eyes turned pitiful, dark and wounded. I sighed. Tyler Castle, just forget everything that happened there. We're back now. Back to our real lives. I was awful to you. I hurt you. Let's just go back to being rivals. Enemies. But before I could finish, Tyler grabbed the back of my head and kissed me. Not just a kiss, a full invasion. Tongue to feet. He knew exactly where I was weak. We'd kissed too many times in the other world. My brain exploded in fireworks, and by the time he let go, my knees had turned to jelly. Then he pulled out a contract, practically glowing with excitement. If he had a tail, it would have been wagging like crazy. This is the Shanghai Project deal. If we land this, Peter Manson can't touch us anymore. We can kick him out of the board. I stared blankly at the contract. What are you saying? Victor Manson, you never really wanted to be heir of the Manson family, did you? You were clearing the path for me. He knew. Back when my adoptive mother was recovering from childbirth, she discovered Peter Manson had cheated on her. It broke her. Postpartum depression sank its claws in. And yet, she was always kind to me. Peter Manson didn't stop at one affair. He collected mistresses and fathered children like trophies. But none of them were acknowledged, because my adoptive mother's family held power. After her death, her side began to fade. And the bastards outside started making moves. That's when I found out I wasn't her real child. Peter Manson had swapped her baby with one born to a mistress. I was the switch. I spent everything I had just to find the real son, Tyler Castle. She had treated me well. Of course I'd repay her by protecting her real son. So I approached Tyler. Pretended to be cold, calculating. Pretended I wanted the heirship. And when the time came, I made it public that he was the rightful heir. But just being acknowledged wasn't enough. If Tyler wanted to hold real power, to inherit both my adoptive mother's estate and the Manson empire, he had to earn it. He had to be the most capable among Peter's scattered offspring. So I became his whetstone. And to be a good one, I had to make him hate me. When did you find out? I muttered. I thought I played the fake young master pretty damn well. Tyler gave a low laugh, cupping my face and kissing my forehead. The first time we fought, he whispered. You shouted at me, but your eyes were about to cry. I knew then. You weren't doing it to hurt me. You were trying to protect me. I played along. Back then, I didn't have the power to fight back. I figured it was your way of shielding me. You didn't throw out that spicy beef, did you? He added. I saw you sneak back to the dorm and fish it out of the trash. My eyes widened. You didn't put it in the trash, just on top of it? What a snake. I thought he was some wide-eyed, innocent kid. Turns out he's just as sneaky as me. Victor, I really like you, he said softly. I had my assistant draw up a new contract. I'm giving you everything I own. Will you have me? Tears rolled down his cheeks and splashed onto his hand. I've wanted to confess to you for so long. I've liked you for years. From the very first time I approached him. Back then, Tyler Castle was a nobody. Barely spoke English without a heavy accent. Got bullied at school all the time. And I, arrogant, proud, perfect me, I stepped up to defend him like a furious little cat. Is your pronunciation so perfect you get to laugh at others? Apologize. They did. Red-faced and mumbling. From that day on, Tyler never looked at anyone else again. I taught him. Worked part-time with him. Watched him grow from a crush into an obsession. He'd never believed me when I said I hated him. Because if I truly did, I'd have destroyed him long ago. Baby, he said suddenly, voice trembling, you know why I never changed my last name? Why I still use my orphanage surname? Why? I asked. Because I always wanted to marry you. From the first day I saw you. We don't share a last name. We're not in the same household registry. It means I've always been free to love you. I've had feelings for you from the very beginning. And if you don't accept me now, I'll be single forever. So please, just give me one chance. Let me stay by your side. My throat tightened. My eyes burned. He was such an idiot. And maybe I was just as stupid. I nodded hard, choking on the lump in my throat. Fine. I'll reluctantly give you this one chance. The end.
Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos.